So here's the point. Just because you're not advertising doesn't mean that you're not marketing. These are masterful marketers, and they're spending that money on other forms of external engagement that make their products and services irresistible. Hey guys, Chris again. Hey, I was just sitting here at the parking lot of Trader Joe's. I'm out running errands. I picked up some dessert here from Krispy Kreme. I've got a warm beverage here in my Swell water bottle, and I'm wearing my Lululemon jacket. That is four cult brands that are remarkably successful despite spending below average in terms of their industry peers on traditional paid media. And it just got me thinking, you know, one of the cult truisms that we say a lot of is cult brands make impressions, they don't buy impressions. And certainly Trader Joe's, Krispy Kreme, Lulu, Swell represent brands that don't buy a lot of impressions. But just because they're not big spenders on advertising doesn't mean that they're not big spenders. I sometimes worry that people think that when I talk about spending less on paid media, they just hear spend less, and that sounds good. And when in reality, they just spend differently. And when we go into organizations, we counsel with them about the redeployment of paid media. Sure, some of that money can go to the bottom line. Some of that can boost profitability, but you just need to spend differently. Like when I think of Lululemon and how they got to over $1 billion without spending much on paid media, they invested heavily in community. And they did really smart things with their stores, where their stores could be gifted over to yoga instructors in the evening, and they could push the racks of clothing away. And then when people left, they could be exposed to the different outfits. And they also clearly spent a lot of money on their retail store experience for a more traditional mall-based store, and their training programs are exceptional. My son worked at a Lululemon, and they spend a disproportionate amount of energy and money on making sure that their staff are properly trained. When I think of some other amazing cult brands, you know, this week I had a chance to interview TikTok for The Gathering, and TikTok is the fastest growing mobile app to get to 1 billion users, and yet you don't see, you know, advertising for TikTok. But what TikTok did do was invest in exceptional algorithms, so the user experience is top notch. And also, unlike all the other social platforms, they connected with social platforms, so you can share TikTok videos on Instagram or on Facebook. And so these were smart strategies and technical investments that created those sorts of APIs. I'm reminded just in the past couple of weeks of two amazing female-led brands, Bumble, the dating app, and Spanx, Sarah Blakely's company. Neither of them spend much on paid media, and yet Bumble operates under this cult brand principle of picking a fight. They pick a fight with misogyny. Their whole business strategy is their brand strategy about letting women be in the driver's seat in terms of the brand, the dating experience. And then certainly Sarah Blakely, I mean, she invented a category. Her investment went into product innovation. We didn't really know what shapewear was. And then she just did a masterful job of creating earned media, particularly amongst, influencers before influencer marketing kind of ruined what I think used to be really effective. And, you know, she got on Oprah. She kind of infiltrated the Hollywood community, who are certainly focused on body image. So here's the point. Just because you're not advertising doesn't mean that you're not marketing. And Lululemon, Krispy Kreme, Trader Joe's, Swell, Spanx, TikTok, Bumble, these are masterful marketers, and they're spending that money on other forms of external engagement, other forms of earned media, other forms of owned assets that make their products and services irresistible, and other forms of internal engagement, making their employees, remarkable evangelists. I know Trader Joe's pays above average. They put their employees on raise cycles twice a year, so that when you go into Trader Joe's, you're interacting with somebody that's much more enthusiastic about their brand. So I give all of these brands, you know, gold stars, and I hope that we can emulate them by spending differently, which doesn't mean they're not spending at all. They're just spending on things that matter most. Hope that's helpful. Thanks.